Hey guys, we're out in Sydney today and this whole week, so you can tell there's a nice little background behind us. We're doing this outside. We're actually here for the Privacy Enhancing Technologies Symposium. They kind of go all around the world, but this time they decided to end up in Sydney, so it's a lot easier for us to come here just from Melbourne and attend. Gave a little talk this morning just about identity and Sybil attacks. It was just in the rump session, so just a 5-minute one, hoping to get some feedback from some other people who are attending the conference. But this is basically like the conference for privacy enhancing technologies. Some really prominent people are here, people from Tor and people from other projects in the space as well, and a lot of researchers who are working on the cutting edge of what's going on in the privacy space right now, so it's really good to be here. I will kick into the dev update now because just because we're at the Privacy Enhancing Technologies conference doesn't mean that we're not still working on Session and looking at and all of the other products we work on. So on the Session side, but in saying that, I don't have as much contact with the dev team this week as I usually do, so I may be off base on some of these things. I've just read some messages in the Discord and noted what's been going on at GitHub. So basically on Session, we're continuing to work on the same tasks that we've been working on over the past month or so. So that's emoji reacts. They're coming along nicely on all platforms. Hoping to get them wrapped up pretty soon, actually. The Session database refactor on iOS. I have been getting test versions throughout the week, and things have been getting better. We're just kind of trying to solve up the most edge case stuff now, especially when you push on a push notification, does it take you into the app to the right place? We're working on that right now. And on the desktop side, we're working on some of the ID blinding stuff and onion requests, the new onion request endpoints that we have access to now that we've done the hard fork. On the LokiNet side, basically continuing to work on the macOS stuff. Really keen to get an update from the team about how that's going along, but I understand it's going pretty well right now. Last week when I spoke to Jason about it, he was making a breakthrough on macOS, so hopefully that's progressed into a little test version that we'll be able to start internally testing. And I know that they're still working on a client release as well that's coming up for LokiNet, including some of the changes that they included in the service owner network, but actually for clients this time. So that's for a session on LokiNet. On Core, we actually have probably some promising news to share with you about Ledger in the near future, but we've been talking with them, we've been making some changes on our code side, and things are looking really good with Ledger, so hopefully we'll have some updates on that. But the devs have been tackling that as well this week, and there was also some improvements for the CLI wallet with staking management as well, so hopefully those flow through to users pretty quickly. I think that just about wraps us up for this week, but I'll throw it back to Josh, who I think is in the office, and he can give a little update. Thanks guys.
Surprise everybody, the marketing update is also going to be coming to you from a park bench in Sydney this week. Turns out we stole the shotgun mic from the office, so they won't be able to film it back there, so you're going to have to deal with me for this week, but that's alright. So last week, really, a lot of my time was spent preparing for the Privacy Enhancing Technology Symposium, the PETS conference, where Kee and I are at the moment. Just doing prep work, making sure that we were ready when we got here to make the most of our time here and trying to make first contact with some of the people that we were hoping to meet here, which has paid off really well. We've already met a whole bunch of people and exciting research that we didn't really know about before, so Kee's already covered a bit of that, and we'll have a whole bunch more content coming out over the next couple of weeks covering some of the things that we found here at PETS. But it's been awesome, it's been great being here in Sydney. It's slightly warmer than in Melbourne, which is always a nice thing. But besides PETS, last week, so we were finishing off some of the content cycle stuff, which if you didn't notice, it was all themed around dating. So there was yet another article that came out this time from Oxen, talking about dating and crypto and how some of these ideas can kind of mix, or in the past maybe how they have not really mixed together very well. We also published another video this time about privacy in relationships and why it's so important to have privacy in your relationships, one of the most important places I would say to have relationships. So that kind of tied a little bow on the end of that content cycle, and we actually already also had an article in CoinTelegraph covering many of these same topics, so we'll chuck a link into the written version of the update if you want to go and check that out. That was a really great article So yeah, that's a really good one. On terms of socials, Cam has been playing around with ads on social platforms, and the early results are looking pretty promising. We don't have exact numbers to share right now around the social ads, but those will be coming pretty soon. And just generally speaking, the socials are growing really well, and we're starting to get a lot of really prominent faces and voices from the activist and journalist and civil society space that are following our accounts and engaging with us, which is really promising. There's, I can't remember the person's name off the top of my head, but you'll be able to find it in the written version. But that was just, the latest in a long line of people who are starting to pay attention to session. And we've noticed that at Pets here as well. There was a research group that was doing some work around whistleblowers providing information with journalists, and they'd actually heard of us and heard of session, and specifically reached out to Kee to talk to him about some of the work that we're doing and see how we can work together in the future. So it's really great to see that session is making a name for itself in this space, and that showing up to things like Pets is really paying off. And other than that, just a quick update on the ads from Wes. This is just a really simple one, but he hit 650,000 impressions over the last 7 days, so that's a really awesome number from Wes. He's been doing an awesome job with the new ad strategy and has just been going from strength to strength. So we should see some of those numbers from the ads start translating into other numbers like growth for session users and MAU and things like this going forward. So that's pretty much it for marketing this week, and we'll see you back in Melbourne next week.